It's gonna get rice and water. What did you say? Everybody complain about his damn sleep. Oh, you did. I don't eat. I'm fucking my blood pressure. You mess around either. No. He make a sandwich for everybody that want sandwiches. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner sandwich. That's fine. That's fine. That's the best thing in here. Good enough, buddy. I just what it is. It's only sandwich every day. One day I'm gonna do. Think about that this tomorrow. But until you get no salt. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll be alright. You have a hard day. You know something but then you go to conversation like, no. Okay, talk like this. Say that. So I'm a real tough stand down for a year. You run a child from outside. No, I just took the last of coming in. Did you? Dude, like, no. Starts to playing boy. I'm retired from the United States Navy 2 years. I'm 39 years old. I'm ready to turn the ball. That's the man. You expect well, that's something. That's the yo, I'm 30 years old. What you know? Like, wait on me. We don't follow the ocean. The ball. So the ball is bad spot. I got put on my body. Because if I'm in anything, don't cry. Go, no. Right? We friends. You like that? Talk something. There was no variety. Yeah, that break was on play. Break was on play. Well, yeah, that's like, oh, you raised it up? When I had spoke, I wish I had. He's another great story because there's one section called the atmosphere. Where he's doing something. This is good. 100. I don't bring anything else to do something 10 times. Oh, hell. Something 1,000 times. I do something. That's a party. No, as I said, he jumped from rock to rock. Scared and stuff. That's shit, real shit. Real shit, but it's real shit. He had roof spots where he would go up because it wasn't emotional. One more to learn today. Oh, there's no telling. I wonder if it had anything to do with that. Y'all. Y'all. Got a small one. It just looks like some demon is trying to take it. That one over there to the right is like a Grinch. Yeah, I was just thinking of the Grinch. Where's Nick dog? He's 6. I told you. You come here? No. Talk to his
Where did it go?
He said.
It's like Johnny, you know, on the old law.
You want to do what?
The one the old law was Franklin. South and then raised one old.
Right there.
What's that?
Already down.
Oh, see. Dreaming of you know, some things ain't for everybody to know. You know that?
Yeah.
Everybody can't handle too much on. Oh, you got you got thanks, Mr. Rick. Mr. Gardner, you okay over there, man? It sound like you just being like yourself. So I act like that, Mr. James. We're a family here. No, Dr. Not talking session. Dr. Not session. Let's go. Dr. Not session. Let's go, guys. Dr. Not session. Let's go.
Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. I want to ask what you think about it. Spoken to you. Yeah. They asked me to snitch.
Oh, yeah.
You got a snitch?
No shit's out there.
After that, we'll deal with change subjects. Never said if you did or you didn't.
I'm just.
Deal with that. We want to go
All right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We may We may go a little quicker today. Don't know. Not quite feeling it, but we'll see what we can get done. If you noticed, yesterday we did family relationships. How some of those things are. We had the same people here today, but if you'll notice, they're all smiling bigger. So that tells us that they have something to be thankful for. Right? So all these guys are thankful. So what we're going to talk about today a little bit, and like I say, we may ease off a little bit quicker, but it's just being grateful. You know, one of the things that our recovery is supposed to be bringing us is gratitude. So that's one of the things we're supposed to be looking at pretty closely is gratitude. What do I have to be grateful for? So this morning, real quickly, we're going to look at our books. Make sure that you fill out your sign-in sheets this morning so that we can get all of that done when all of this is over with. But if you have your book with you this morning, we're going to jump over to tomorrow's thing with our family health, because a lot of the time, yes, sir? How long you been here?
No.
You've been here for days and you still don't have a book? Yeah. Okay. I will, the counselors right now are doing clinicals, so they're going to be in there for a few minutes. But when they come out of here, we'll get one of them to get you a book. That's one of the first things you're supposed to do. I apologize for that. If you don't have a book over at North, let somebody know, let one of the counselors know. But on page 21 of that book, we're going to look at what we would normally look at on Wednesday, because we're not going to be doing this on Thursday. So we're looking at our family health, and at some point we get through that estranged place, which means that we're not really involved with them, to a place of insecurity, which means that, we have some issues with, and different types of issues with different people in our family. So at some point we get to the stage called middle ground. This is where my relationships are founded on solid connections, but they still struggle due to our current situation. Most people, and I will tell you this, some families it's not true, but most families, most people who care for you don't like the fact that you're on drugs or alcohol. Because, if people really care for you, the fact that we're using drugs or alcohol the way that we do, they shouldn't really like that, because this destroys our lives, right? It messes up our jobs, our lives, our families, our health, everything else in the world. And if your family is okay with that, you might need to look at that. Because if they're okay with you destroying your life, then something ain't right. So at this point, and I do apologize, I ate a piece of candy, so I relapsed on sugar, and it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's just a little bitty piece, but I'm just not feeling good. I've had stomach issues for the last week, and it's really bothering me this morning. So I was hoping that would help, and it's done some stuff. So for the most part, those around you are supportive, and they feel, and you feel like they have a sincere desire to see you do well in your recovery or improve in your recovery. So, okay, that's a good thing. If we have people in our lives, we need to have people in our lives who really seriously care about how we're doing, right? We need people to be there for us, because as Maslow's hierarchy of needs tell us, we need love and belonging. Everybody does. I've talked to a lot of people down through the years that tell me, I don't care. I said, I don't, this is just what I'm doing, and I don't care. I don't care about people. I don't need. That's not true. You know, there are a few people out there, there are those outliers who have a mental disorder that makes them not need people in their lives. However, um, most of us, everybody in here and everybody over at North, we need people in our life. You know, it's just the way it is. So we need to be able to have some people in our lives that are like our family, but sometimes our family, they're not the type of people we need to have in our lives. That makes it hard, doesn't it? It does. There's some people in my life, or there's some people that are in my family that I wish could be in my life, but they can't be in my life because of their life choices. And I don't want them in my life because of their life choices. If they could be, I would love to have them in my life, but they can't be. So we have to look for other people. Can you find other family members? Sure. You know, here's the deal about family. Family doesn't have to be biological. You know, it doesn't have to be. A lot of times the people that's in your AA group or your NA group or your uh, Celebrate Recovery, those people in here can be our family. You know, can take the place of other people in our family. So we're going to look really good. So we need to look for some people like that because we're going to need this in here. We're going to look. You know, Thanksgiving is day after tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's tomorrow is Thanksgiving Eve. So you know, tomorrow and the next day are going to be some interesting days. So what do we have to do to be? Why are we going to be thankful on that day? Why are you going to be thankful on Thanksgiving?
Being alive.
To be alive.
Yeah.
You know, just to be alive. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I've got a couple of people in our church right now that's not doing too well. They're elderly and they're not doing too well, and you know we've had some people pass on pretty not too long ago, and so you know just to be just God just woke us up, and here we are this morning. Okay, just to be alive. What else?
Be sober.
To be sober. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. You know, I've talked to a few people who I'm not going to be at home this holiday season, and that's not okay with me. And I can understand that. You know, I mean, being at home is a big deal. That's why most people, we have millions of people that are traveling more than 50 miles today and tomorrow trying to get back to where? Home. Just want to be home. Got to get home. Got to get back around with folks. Got to get back around with people that we want to be around. Right? And so, you know, that's one thing that we can be thankful for. But here, I'm sitting here. I'm not going to be at home. I can still be thankful for the fact that, look, I'm sober. I remember the days when I wasn't sober. They were not good. They were not good at all. And here's the deal. We saw the ambulance go over there this morning and the fire department and all of that stuff over there. They didn't come for us, right?
Thank God for that.
Yeah, that's something that we can be thankful for. There's all sorts of things. So this morning, what we're going to do, and we're going to take a little bit, quicker break, maybe. I don't know. I feel the need for a little bit longer break and all of that. But we're going to look at this gratitude thing. What have I got to be? You know, being thankful is synonymous with being grateful, right? I'm thankful about something. I have gratitude over something. That means about the same thing, doesn't it? So that's what we're looking at. Just what am I going to be thankful for and how am I going to show my gratitude? Gratitude means appreciating the good things in life. And no matter how big they are, no matter how small they are, we had a guy here, this was months and months and months ago, and thank goodness he's gone. He complained about everything. He complained about the food. He complained about the beds. He complained about the other people in here with him. He complained about the counselor. Yeah, he complained about the fact that he was complaining about stuff. And then the dude was just bad. You know, it was horrible. And, you know, everything. But look, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know about you guys, but I have been in a place in my life when I didn't have a place to live. I've been homeless in my life. And I've also been at a place where I had no food. I had no food. I woke up in the morning wondering how earthworms tasted. I mean, fish eat them, birds eat them, so they probably pretty good. So I never got that far, but I wondered, about it. And so, I've been at those places. Here's the deal: if I'm in a place like, man, this is like the Taj stinking Mahal. I mean, I got a bed, I got a shower, I got a potty I can go to. I have toilet paper.
Down the streets.
Yeah, yeah. Y'all know how important toilet paper is? Yeah. Think pine cone. Yeah. So yeah. It's important, and stuff like that. I can go in there and get a sandwich. I can get a piece of bread and a piece of meat and a piece of cheese. Oh my God, that's a big deal to be thankful for in my life. In my life, when like I say, I was hungry a lot, and it's gotten to a place in my life now. I probably need to be a little more hungry than sometimes, because you get a little gut. I ought to be hungry a little bit more. But here's the deal: I don't have to be hungry unless I want to be. Right? I've got enough where I can get something to eat every day. Usually more than once a day. Right? My wife made something for me last night, and had breakfast on it. And something, there's always something there. So I'm not going hungry. So even for small things, we're sitting here, we're having a nice cup of coffee. So, that's just a wonderful thing. I do know times in my life where if I could have gotten a cup of coffee, I'd have been okay. But I didn't have the money for coffee. I didn't have anything, I didn't have anybody that wanted to give me any coffee. And I was in a bad shape. But praise God, I'm not that way anymore. And so I have that thing. And look, I've done this before, but let me do it again. Y'all know what I did last night? Nobody? I do.
Go to sleep.
I know what I did last night. I didn't sleep all that well. My stomach's been bothering. But I know what I did last night. That's a big deal, right? Because there were many, many, many days that I woke up and I did not know what I did last night. I didn't know who I did last night. I didn't know why I did what or who last night. I didn't know any of that stuff. There's times when I would get up and go outside and walk around my truck to see if there was any bends or banks or blood on my car. So I didn't know if I'd run into somebody, but I know now what I did last night. Man, I'm grateful. I mean, you talk about gratitude. I wake up in the morning and I know exactly what I did last night. And some of it I shouldn't have done. What are those little things that they make that's made out of, I don't know what they're made out of now. I can't think. They're meat in the middle of them, and they got pasta on the outside of them.
Oh,
Ravioli. I ate about 6 or 7 of those things last night in a tomato sauce.
Ravioli.
Yeah, they weren't good, but I ate them anyway because my wife made them. Right, so I ate those things, and now this morning I don't feel good. But but look, I still know what I did last night. Watched a little television, got up and about 8 o'clock went to bed, and know exactly what I did. So it means appreciating the good things in life, no matter how big, no matter how small. We can appreciate when something fantastic happens to us. If you're walking down the road out there and you find $100 bill, do you appreciate that? Yeah, I do. I appreciate that, man. I have found a lot of money in my life, and I think it's because God trusts me with a lot of money, because I'm funny about money. If I see you drop $100 bill, I'm not going to put that in my pocket. I'm going to take it, make sure you got it. I have found billfolds with money in it and made sure that money got back. I found a billfold laying in the road outside a market basket. I picked it up. It had, and this is how God works. It had $500 in it, 5 $100 bill. Going, I did. And there was one phone number. There's a card in that thing with one phone number, a piece of paper or something had one phone number. I called that number, and that the phone rang, and it was an answering machine. And I said, look, I found your billfold. Doesn't have anything in it but this phone number and $500. So my wife had a little business at that time. I said, I'm gonna keep it down here at this place, and if you want it, come get it. Whatever. It was a couple of weeks later, guy showed up there and he said, "Hey man, you call the number you have." I said, "Yeah, yeah, here's your billfold and here's your money." And he was just, man, he was excited about getting that. He said, "You know who you called?" I said, "No." He said, "That was in like Pennsylvania, that number." And he said, "We had my girlfriend and I were up there. We lived there. We broke up. There was no furniture left in the house, and we're all gone. And the only thing left was a phone that was sitting on a cardboard box with an answering machine. That was it. You left a message there. She went by to pick that thing up, found it, and then she called me and told me about the money and where I could pick it up. And it was about this time of year. It was about Christmas. He said, that's the last $500 I've got from all of that kind of stuff. He said, well, look, so that, think about all of that, how all of that had to come together for that guy to get his $500 back. Now, I will tell you, he tried to give me $200 of it. I didn't want his money, but I just thought, look what God did. And that's an amazing thing. So he left from there to go shopping, to go get something for the grandkids or whoever it was for Christmas. That was just a really heartwarming thing. And you think, well, you lost out on $500. Well, you know what? My wife was a hairdresser at the time. She had a shop called what was it? Something's Emporium and hair shop and gift emporium. It was full of gifts and stuff. And then she did hair, And so that guy's mom started coming to her to get her hair done. Y'all know how much it costs to get your hair done? For us, for guys, it's not that big, but for ladies, they can spend hundreds and hundreds over the time that. She kept coming to her for like a year. So over that year, she probably made $5,000 off her. So God just does that kind of stuff. I found another billfold, and it was one of these longer billfolds, and it didn't have any money in it. It had some cards in it. I called it, and I was at a ministry thing, and a guy came to pick it up. And he came, got his billfold, and he looked through the billfold, and he said, this billfold had like $1,200 in it. I said, okay. It didn't when I found it, but he wasn't happy at all that he got his billfold and a bunch of cards back and all of that kind of stuff. But, that wasn't my fault. People are weird like that. He didn't show any. The other guy was totally grateful. Totally, this guy wasn't grateful at all. He walked out of there, he's a biker and all that. Okay, all right, yeah. If I know it's yours next time, guess what? I won't do it. Anyway, just the little things and the big things, making the practice of gratitude as a regular part of your day. Now, that's a big deal. If I can make this a practice of mine, I get up in the morning determined that what happens to me, what God brings across my path, I'm going to be grateful. Whatever I get to eat today, I'm grateful for that. Sometimes I go over here to Market Basket and do stuff like get an apple or get a banana. And I don't just eat that thing. I thank God for that. I thank Him for the banana that I'm about to eat. I ask Him to use it to nourish my body and then protect me from it if that's needed. And as a diabetic, sometimes if you eat a banana or an apple or something like that, it shoots your sugar up. So sometimes you need to be protected from it. But I'm grateful for the fact that, look, I can go over to Market Basket and buy myself an apple. Because that throws me back to those days when I couldn't do that. And an apple doesn't cost that much, but when you don't have the money, then it's out of range for you. So we want to do that on a daily basis, and what that can do, if you make a practice of gratitude a regular part of your day, that can build happiness in your life. If you're a grateful person, is usually a happy person. You know, and it can build self-esteem in your life. If I'm grateful, that means that I'm grateful to some people and I'm grateful for what my God and other people have done in my life, and that builds self-esteem for me. And that's a good thing. And it can even provide health benefits for us. You know, people who feel good about the things that are going off in their life feel good about other people, and it helps our health benefits. It will build our health in a good way for us if we're grateful people. If I'm a happy person, is a more healthy person, and it's I can't say the word cyclic, because a healthy person is a happier person is a healthier. So, you know, just if I'm happy and if I'm grateful, then I'm going to be more healthy. And if I'm more healthy, then I'm going to be happier, right? Because, you know, my stomach hurts right here, right there. What does that mean when your stomach hurts right there? Over here. It hurts a little bit up here.
Heartburn.
Kind of hurts over here. Hurts over there. Yeah. Somebody told me it might be gas.
Yeah.
So if I break a big, you know, if I break wind after a while, y'all know what's. I'm not being disrespectful. It's just, you know, I got this stomach pain. So here's a couple of things we can do to make sure, you know, being grateful sometimes is not just a natural thing for a whole lot of people. You know, I want to be grateful for everything that God has put in my life, and I want to tell you this, I do not believe there are any mistakes in God's world. I don't think God is, look, now, we say God can do all things, but there are some things God can't do. Yeah. God can't lie. He's God. He's not going to tell you a lie. He's not going to do those kind of things. And God doesn't make any mistakes, right? He don't. So if you feel like in your life, you know, things are not going the way that you want them to go and all of that kind of stuff, and you feel like that you're not supposed to be who you are. God don't make mistakes. God don't make the way that you were made. That's the way that you were made because God wanted you made the way that you were made. So, you know, we can be grateful because of who we are and because of what God made us into and what He's continuing to make us into. I saw a thing the other day. There's two of them. One of them said, God, you know, y'all look over me a little bit. God don't make no junk. And the other one is God's still working on me. Sometimes it's important to be a seeker. I have people come to our church all the time. We had a young man and his girlfriend come to our church last Sunday who was a seeker. You know, they were looking at all kind of crazy mess in their life. They were looking at all of this other spiritual crap. And then they said, look, we decided we're going to come look, see what God has. So, okay. So I need to be grateful. So one of the ways that I can become grateful, because we're not all born grateful, is to have a grateful or a gratitude journal. What does that mean? Everybody knows what a journal is. Every time I say journal, I see people go, you know, journaling means I'm writing something down, right? You know, if I can't look in my mind and say, this is what I'm grateful for today, I need to start myself a gratitude journal. I need to start writing down what happens moment by moment that I can be grateful for. And I might need to write it down and think about it. Okay, that person came by and said, good morning to me. Should I be grateful for that? Well, yeah, it's not that big a deal, but it's also not a bad thing. It's good for people to come by and say good morning to me. So look, I'm going to have. I was talking to one of the supervisors from one of the other facilities, and there's a church coming that's going to go to that facility with a turkey dinner for that group of people on Turkey Day. And look, is that something we should be grateful for? Yeah. For myself personally, I like turkey. I'm a turkey guy. I like turkey. I like after Thanksgiving, they make that turkey dressing. My wife does. I like that too. Yeah, you know, I like turkey. Every time I get around the turkey, they start sweating. You know, because they know, they got there. And if I trip and fall down, he gonna eat me. Yeah, you know. So I like turkey. So every evening, You don't have to wait till the evening, but every evening we can spend a few minutes writing down some good things about your day. What do you do if you don't have any good thing happen that day? Said it was a bad day. It was a horrible day. It was a terrible day. Oh man, it was just my God, it was horrible, it was terrible, it was nasty. At least you had a day, you lived through the day, and you can write down there, hey, I didn't get killed today, I didn't get shot today, I did eat today, everything was it's okay. Might not have been the best thing in the world, but it was okay. It isn't limited to major events. You know? A lot of people, when we sat down, and here's the other thing, if nothing good happened in your life today, make sure that you're going to be the good that happens in somebody else's life tomorrow. If I go around trying to be the good that happens in somebody else's life tomorrow, guess what's going to happen in my life? People will reciprocate. Sometimes before I ever do what I'm doing, they're going to bring some good to me. So if I get up that morning with hey, look, I'm going to figure out a way to make somebody's life better today, make somebody's day better today, then I'm going to guarantee you that people are going to reciprocate. Something's going to happen in your life. So here's the deal. Every evening, take a look, because I'm going to guarantee you, even if you're sitting at the end of the day and you say, well, this was a horrible day, it was a nasty day, it was terrible, I had to go to work and I had to do all these things and nobody did this and nobody did that. If you sit down and you try to figure out even the little bitty things, you're going to find some stuff that happened that were good. You know, I had a nice cup of coffee over at someplace. My wife and I went camping last time we went camping. We went to a little town called Mandeville. It's right on the beach in Louisiana. What's that big Lake Pontchartrain? It's on the beach right there. We went over there and we went to that little bitty town, and then we had breakfast at one of those little bitty places where they have a little restaurant, a little house. Yeah, pretty nice. And we went in there and we had a really good little breakfast and all of that kind of stuff. That went on my gratitude journal. There was a real nice young lady who came, brought us our food and all of that stuff. And it was just, she was really super nice, and it was just a really good thing. So I wrote that down. You might be grateful for simple things like a good meal. Breakfast is my favorite meal, and you can do all those things. Or you could be grateful that you're being interrupted right in the middle of it.
Sorry.
No, it's perfectly all right.
I just gotta go real quick.
Okay, okay.
I'm not leaving.
Just don't let him disrupt my class whenever he does.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mayor. We have, see, look, practicing gratitude. That's my boss, right? She's a real nice lady. She's a good boss and all of that kind of stuff, Miss Sierra. And everybody over at North knows Miss Sierra. We had an appointment this morning at 7:45. And so I'm supposed to meet with her at 7:45. So at 8:05, she hadn't made it yet. So she came in to apologize. And then at 10 o'clock, I'm supposed to meet with her again. Okay, we're going to, at our break, I'm going to meet with so she just came in to tell me she's going to make that either. But, you see where you have gratitude. See, that's one of our wonderful young counselors. She's so wonderful and stuff. Look, I can be grateful that she's here because look, she's really good with the computer and stuff like that. And there's things I will tell you that I don't know, and that's the other one, Miss Casey. If I don't know it, either Miss Casey or Miss Charnel will know it, and they'll come and help me do it. And, I tell you, I really could get by without those two ladies helping, or those three ladies, because Miss Sierra will do that as well. If I can't figure it out, Miss Sierra will come and take care of that. So I'm really grateful for those three young ladies working with me. So, but it isn't limited. We need to make sure we understand. It's not limited to those big, huge things, right? It can be just some simple things like a good meal. When's the last time you talked to a friend? When's the last time y'all thought about Miss Courtney in there? Now, see that lady there, man. I tell you, this is this facility and north is the land manor altogether. One, they do case management like crazy. You know, I don't. Case management is something that's pretty much beyond me. But these ladies take care of that pretty good. So that's something we can do. Talking to a friend or overcoming some type of obstacle in your life. Just about every time that I get in front of the computer, I have an obstacle I have to overcome. And so it's a real good thing for me. Sometimes I can do that on my own. Sometimes I can figure out exactly what I need to figure out, and it works out for me, and I've overcome that obstacle all by myself. And that feels good, right? It does. I feel good about that. I can be grateful that God had allowed me to do that. But then, like I said, at other times, I have to call one of these young ladies, come. The other day, I couldn't get it. I was trying to get something done on Columbus, and I couldn't get that to work at all. And I went and asked Miss Charnel. I said, "Can you come?" And she came in, and in 30 seconds, she had it where it needed to be and working fine. So I can be grateful for that as well, right? We can be grateful both ways. So we need to be able to put that down, to write it down somewhere, get it down. When I write it down, it makes it more real to me. You know, when something happens to me and I'm grateful for it and all of that kind of stuff, okay, I'm grateful for it in the moment. But pretty soon the moment changes, right? Pretty soon the moment is gone. And so I'm not that grateful and it kind of slips away from me. But the second thing that we can do is be sure to give thanks. Just be thankful for what we have. You know, this whole season that we're in right now is a season of being thankful. It's not just about eating a turkey. It's about being thankful for being able to do anything in the world. It's about being thankful for eating a turkey and all of that stuff. Why do we have turkey at Thanksgiving? Anybody got an idea? Why do we eat turkey at Thanksgiving?
That's what the Indians brought us.
That's what the Indians brought us. Okay. I get mine from HEB. Ain't no Indians bring me mine. But
that's what they did when they met with the Indians, whatever the Pilgrims.
Yeah.
Turkey and they ate turkey.
Big enough to share.
Let's see what?
Big enough to share.
Big enough to share. Oh, well, yeah, it's big enough to share. Yeah, that's good stuff. I don't like sharing my turkey, but it is big enough to share. That is thankful. You can be thankful for that. Yeah, when the Pilgrims came over, half of them died the first winter they were here. They came in, 50% of them died that first year, and then the the summer. Right after the first winter, they were croaking, and the Indians came and taught them two things. First off, introduced them to the turkeys and stuff like that, but also showed them how to make maize. And what is maize? Corn. And so they started raising corn and stuff like that. And then after that first winter, they had a great big old drought. And that next summer, all the crops that they had taught them to grow and all of that, because the land here in the United States, right there in that part where they came, was 4 times more fertile than the crops, the land was in England where they came from. So it was just growing food like crazy, but then they had this big old drought and everything was dying. So the governor said, okay, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to pray. I want everybody that's left, 50% of them had already died. He said, I want everybody to get together. I want y'all to pray. I want you to ask God to send us some rain. Now, rain, when it comes to that part of the world, just kind of comes through there like a hurricane, blows everything away. So they started praying. They prayed for like 10 days, and the rains came. Not the blowing, screaming, kill you rain, but a very light, soaking rain that rained for about 7 or 8 days. Saved the crops and all of that stuff. And the chief of the Indians came over and said, hey, I like y'all's God. That's y'all were praying and he did this and saved the crops. I like your God. So after a little while, the chief got saved, accepted Jesus as his Lord and Savior. So did all of his people, that one particular group of people. And so the governor said, well, you know what? We're just going to be thankful for all of that happening. Now, it didn't really become Thanksgiving until sometimes in the 50s, but, that's why they were thankful for what God had done. So give thanks. Keep your eyes open throughout the day for reasons to say thank you. Who are you saying thank you to?
God.
You are saying thank you to God, but you're also saying thank you to the people who do things.
Yeah.
I am not going to let somebody say something, do something nice for me without me showing gratitude to them. Thank you. I appreciate it when somebody is good. I appreciate it when somebody is kind. I appreciate that. I just do. It was for my boss lady. She's my boss lady. For her to come out here and tell me that she's going to be late to the meeting because she has to go do something else, that's kind. And so that's why I'm thankful that she would think enough of me to do that. So say thank you. Make a conscious effort. And sometimes this stuff is not all that easy. Look, being kind, being good, being the type of person that people want to hang out around sometimes is not the easiest thing in the world to do. It takes effort for us to do that. So make a conscious effort to notice when people do good things. We need to do that. I was at the store the other day, and I had something like a banana or bag of chips. It wasn't anything. I had one thing in my hand. I don't remember what it was, but it was one thing. And there was a lady ahead of me, and she had a basket full of stuff. I'm sitting in and waiting, holding my banana like this. And she said, would you go ahead in front? Go front. Was that nice?
Yeah.
Was that kind?
Yeah.
Yes, that was just plain sweet. So I said, well, ma'am, that's all right. She said, no, I insist. You go ahead of me. So thank you. I appreciate that. As I'm walking past her, I got my hat on that I had to kill 3 people to be able to wear. She said, thank you for your service as well. Yeah. So, okay, thank you for that. And I appreciate the support, right? Yeah. And I'm not going to let somebody do something kind, nice, sweet, and good without me saying, thank you, I appreciate that. That's a good thing that you did. We are often guilty of not doing the right thing. And so when somebody comes and does a good thing for us, a lot of the times we'll let that go. And when we let that go, that lets that person know, hey, you know what? I don't need to pay it forward. We need to be paying it forward. If somebody comes and does something kind, nice, good, and sweet with me, or to you, we need to respond the right way, and so they want to continue to do that, right? Yeah. So it's a good thing. So I want to appreciate that, and I want to reward good behavior. I don't want to reward bad behavior. I want to reward good behavior. So look, make a conscious effort when people do something good. When people do good things, whether it's to you or to other people. We had a guy in here not too long ago that he had a real mobility issue. He couldn't get around very well at all. When it came time for lunch, the guys would let him go. As he made it to the line, they would put him up at the head of the line. And I would go through there and just thank those guys for doing that. That was a good thing to do. And you can find good things that we can do all over the place, everywhere. When people come to group on time, I'll thank them for that. When people don't make a lot of noise, we thank them for that, but we can't usually thank them a whole lot around here. We got people like Mr. Washington. So make it look. How many times? And I know y'all do this. I've heard it, but how many times do we thank Mr. Q for the food he makes for us? We need to be thankful for that because I have been places where the food wasn't as good as it is here. Now, I will tell you, there's a lady that works for us. She's been working for Manor probably for 20 years, and you know her, Rachel. Rachel, yeah. She's the same way. Rachel can cook a rock and make it good, And of course, she's just a beautiful person, and we were always telling her how much we appreciate her because we did. And so it's good to be able to do that. So when you see somebody do something good for you, or you see them do something good for somebody else, we need to recognize that. We need to recognize their good deed, and we need to give a sincere thank you for doing that. I wanted to, Mr. Bailey here and Mr. Rice here. I wanted to thank both of those guys. I'm crying because I'm so thankful.
I'm crying because I'm smelling all them spices.
You want what?
Spices.
Is that what it is? Something is making my eyes water like crazy.
Your mind is too
In Miss Sierra's office, she has a little thing that goes all the time, and every time I sit in her office, I had to tell her, look, I'm not crying because I'm in your office, but what in the world is it? We finally figured out she has something in there, and something's doing the same thing this morning. But I just wanted to tell these two gentlemen this morning, as particularly thank you this morning, because, they've covered up most of that ugly this morning. They got a lot of that ugly covered up. Thank you so much. We do appreciate that kind of stuff. But look, here, just don't say thank you. Have a sincere thank you. No, I really mean it. I want you to know I'm really seriously, and I'm being facetious. We are playing with y'all. But when I'm telling you I thank you for that, I'm serious. I'm grateful that you are responding in the way that you're responding. When we start our group back at what time? What time? At 10:15. It starts at 10:50. I'm going to invariably. We got 3 or 4 guys that's going to be here in their place and they're ready to go. I always thank those guys. Now we got invariably also 10 of them, well, not 10 or 12, but 3 or 4 guys that's going to be in group time. Yeah, they think group time means 5 minutes after 10. 5 minutes after group time, and they'll come stumbling in. And we can be a little facetious with them. Thank you for finally coming to group. When you figured out it might be group time because ain't nobody else anywhere where you are, and everybody else, But I'm serious when those guys come in and they're sitting down and they're ready to go when it's time. And it's not all about, the fact that I've studied, I got all this stuff to go, I got all these things, I've put all the work in. It's because we're trying to get us to do this for a reason. What's the reason we want to be at group all the time, on time, every time?
To be
Being punctual, it's practice for when I get out of here and go to work. Every morning, I don't know if y'all noticed, but every morning, except for Tuesday morning, because we have a meeting in here at 8 o'clock Tuesday morning. Every Tuesday morning, we meet in here. Everybody's on time for that meeting. If you're not, I'm in here. But the other morning, there's a meeting at 8 o'clock every morning in the counselor's office. It's called a huddle. We huddle every morning. We get in there. Now, sometimes, I go down there a little bit early because I'm here earlier. Sometimes the ladies will show up a little bit early and we'll get it done earlier. But it's imperative that they get here on time and Miss Casey has a thing on her phone that goes off and it's screaming, wow, wow. What on earth is that for? So that she can punch in exactly on time. Right? So how do they reward her for punching in exactly on time?
Thank you.
They pay her. Yeah, they pay her for punching in exactly on time. But it's important because I will tell you this: if you go to work out there, you get a job when you leave from here, and you show up at exactly on time, or 5 minutes or 10 minutes ahead of time. Then when it's time for people to get laid off, the one that's there 10 minutes ahead of time is going to be there a long time after the guy that comes 10 minutes after time. I'll guarantee it. And people will say, well, they don't care. They don't. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. We know this. Everybody knows it. So anyway, give thanks. Recognize the good deed. Make sure you give a sincere thank you. The best way to come up with a sincere thank you, I saw it said one time, sincerity. That's a good trait. I think I can fake that. We don't need to be faking sincerity. If I'm really real, people will know. If I'm really real, when I tell somebody thank you for doing whatever it was they've done, then they're going to know if you're really doing it or if you're just checking a box, right? So we can check the box, but I don't want to just check the box. I want to make sure that you know that I really sincerely am moved by what you just did. Thank you for that. So that's what we need to do. Then, the other thing we'll look at real quickly is mindfulness walks. We do some of those. Miss Charnel likes to do mindfulness walks because she don't like to do the group that much. That's not true. She likes to do the group, but she likes to do mindfulness walks. And mindfulness walks are good. And while I'm looking at what I'm thankful for, where does a mindfulness walk come in? It helps me to see the things I'm really thankful for. I do mindfulness walks around my land and around some other places, around the church. We have a beautiful campus at our church, and I do a little mindfulness walking around there. What that does is remind me of what I'm thankful for. Some of the stuff one of the things I'm thankful for are trees. I don't worship trees, but man, I worship the creator of those trees, but I really like trees. That's why we go to the state parks. Man, just beautiful trees and stuff. Love them. So, and then I'm thankful for trees. I'm thankful for little bushes. I'm thankful for green grass. I'm thankful for how many different hues of green there are. Yeah, green must be one of God's favorite colors because, man, just about everything got some green in it out there. I was telling that to Miss Sierra the other day, and she said, well, what about blue? The whole ocean's blue and the sky's blue. That's just reflected blue. That's real green, and they change colors and all of those things. Go for a walk and make special effort to appreciate your surroundings. Man, look what God did. Look what He made for us. If you take a look, we got the earth is right here, right? This is where the earth is. And the moon goes around the earth, right? It goes around the earth at exactly the right spot. If it was a few feet away from us, farther away from us, then the earth would, we wouldn't be able, our oceans and stuff wouldn't work. If it was a few feet closer to us, it's the same thing. Stuff wouldn't work the way that it was supposed to. So it's exactly where it has to be to make sure everything works just like it's supposed to. This was created for you, created for me, so I can be grateful. I walk around and look and see all of those things, be grateful for that. I passed by a thing the other day, there's a bunch of beautiful horses out there. I was grateful for a couple of things. I'm grateful that God made horses that I can look at, and all that's wonderful. I'm also grateful that we don't have any horses anymore. We've had horses, and I'm glad we don't have them anymore. They are a pain in the butt. They did, and which is not fair. They were not my horses, but so you. Say it again.
Threw you off the horse. They threw you off on.
Yeah, they kicked me. They broke my ribs. They threw me. They did all sorts of stuff. We had a horse one time that was beautiful, old arrow paint. and we put the saddle on him, and she didn't cinch the saddle right, and the saddle rolled down and got under the horse. If you've never seen a horse with a saddle that instead of on its back, it's on its belly, they do some stupid stuff. They do some weird stuff, man. They go crazy, and we had to finally run it down, cut that saddle off of them. So, it's an adventure having horses. I don't want to do that.
I don't want horses.
No. That's why I got off the horse and started riding motorcycles, which are much, much, much safer. So you can do this by focusing on each one of your senses one at a time. What am I seeing? Spend a moment just listening. What am I hearing? I get up every morning and I do a mindfulness walk every morning of my life, usually. This morning I didn't because it was raining like crazy at my house. But you do a mindfulness walk in the morning. I walk outside, and the first thing I do is stop for a moment and listen. I can hear there's all sorts of birds talking to one another. It's just wonderful. And then I look up and look at all the stars and the moon, and you can see Mars and all of that kind of stuff, or one of the planets. And it's just great. Focusing on that, spend a minute listening, a minute looking at your surrounding, and so on, smelling stuff. This morning there was a smell. I can't tell you what it was. At my house, not here. Somebody somewhere had burnt something the night before, and I could smell that this morning. And so there's a lot of smells. There's a lot of sounds. There's sensations. This morning the sensation was water coming down from the heavens, and and if you don't pay attention, you'll miss it. Well, we have some people that moved in across the street from us, and then some people who live down here, and then a new family moved in down the road that way. And they're still pretty far from us, but all of these city boys that move out of the city into the country appear to be afraid of the dark. This one has all of these lights on his porch. His whole front yard is lit up. The guy across the street had a 40-foot pole put up with a big floodlight set on it. The guy down at the end of the road, same thing, lights everywhere. So when you go outside to look, it takes away from,
Can't see the stars.
Can't see the stars as well as you used to, but I had some trees grow up in my yard to kind of block all that. But, we do that stuff. I want to live in the country. But I got to have, let's build a sidewalk and turn some stuff on and all of that. So look at that stuff. Sensations that you would usually miss if you don't pay attention. And I've talked to my neighbor and all of that stuff. What storm? For a storm? Well, you got to get up too early in the morning to see stars. Right? You go, okay. Can't see them anyway because at your house you got the sun going on, So there's a cool breeze. You can feel how a cool breeze feels on your skin sometimes, or the clouds in the sky. I enjoy clouds too. Flying through a cloud is a really interesting thing. How many people know that clouds are bumpy? You'll be flying along in a smooth little airplane. You get in that cloud. It's a little bumpy. How much does a cloud weigh? How much? Nothing? All right, somebody say the cloud don't weigh nothing. Because the cloud floats, because it don't, most clouds weigh something. How much? Yeah, it's got a lot. It's mist and it's all sorts of other stuff. Clouds weigh upwards of 1,000,000 pounds. Millions of pounds. Yeah. How do they fly? How do they float? See, God made them from marshmallow. And yes, and they fly. Y'all look that up. I know some people don't believe it, but look it up. Clouds weigh millions of pounds. Look it up. They're not really made from marshmallow. If you don't believe it, next time you're in an airplane up there, jump out of the airplane in through a cloud and see what it tastes like. It don't taste like marshmallow. But it is bumpy, and you'll be doing. That's why if you're getting an airplane that you're going from one continent to another, you get up way above the clouds. You can look down. Most of the time, there's like a whole just everywhere are clouds, you know, and I think it's amazing myself. So we're going to quit a little bit early, but do that. Take a look at the things around. That's one way we can do that. We're going to go to take a break. We'll get back about 15 after. A little bit longer break because we're in the holidays.
Sir?
Sir, it's yeah.
What kind of joining?
See, I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Bum, 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 bum. Yeah. All right, back. I'll take this one back here.
Yeah? Satan's gonna do that later. Yeah?
Holy crime. I never went this before. It's wow. Wow. We're over.
My stomach feeling.
Good.
Huh?
Not good. If I'm eating a piece of bread, maybe it'll help.
Yeah, I'm going to the zero out.
How's it going? How's it going? Took a long time.
Danny, well, yeah,
Took a long time.
you did get here. Really appreciate that. Thank you for all the guys that got here on time, and for you ladies. I know y'all got on there on time, except for that girl that's coming in now. I'll see you there. Appreciate y'all doing that. We've got quite a few things already done. We're going to do a few more here, and we'll be finished with it. And appreciate that. Remember about the, and we may get done here a little bit early. And you know, we're kind of on. I don't know if we're really on a holiday schedule, but I'm kind of on a holiday mindset. You know what I mean? So we might quit a little bit earlier. So remember the mindfulness walks to take a look at all of the stuff out there. I really like, you know, we talked about clouds a little bit, but I really like looking at clouds when my wife is driving. That I can sit and look at the clouds, and I enjoy doing that. And I'm grateful for all of that kind of stuff that I'm able to still see well and you know all of that. But sometimes when you really want to get down to it, you really want to do something to show that you're grateful and you have some stuff to be thankful for, uh, we can sit down and do what's called a gratitude letter. It's kind of like journaling, but it's not journaling. Journaling means that I'm going to write down what I see that I'm grateful for. See, we're so grateful you decided to come and visit for us. And aren't you grateful? Aren't you grateful that you have so many people that point out and remind you that you are grotesquely too tall? Don't you? Don't you? The young lady. Oh, you're so tall up there. You know, don't you? Aren't you grateful for that? Yeah. Because otherwise, you'd probably forget. Yeah, yeah. You're up there, your head's floating around. You think like you're by yourself here on it, and then there's little people down there. Yeah, you know. So I'm sure. So, but writing, you know, just being journaling means I'm just writing down the stuff that I see, the stuff that I recognize, the stuff that I become grateful for, and man, that can be just about anything. But sometimes I'm not really sure, and I need to write a gratitude letter. So why is a gratitude letter different than gratitude journaling? See, I would be really grateful if Q could sing. He can't sing a flip. But he enjoys himself, and I guess that's what matters. But so what's a gratitude letter? Think about somebody that you really, really appreciate. Can you think about somebody? Look at it. Yeah. Your mom? Yeah. We appreciate family members. We appreciate our mom. I appreciate a lot of my coworkers. You know, look at that. But we hiring them younger and younger every day. Yeah.
He walked in the cliff.
Yeah. So, and I'm grateful for a lot of my coworkers and grateful for a whole lot of things, a whole lot of people that I know. I'm grateful for the folks at my church. I have a lot of elderly folks at our church and just really grateful for those people. But when we're doing a gratitude letter, that means that, we think about someone who you appreciate, some person that's had a major impact on your life. Who do you think is that one person who's had a major impact on your life? God. I do, I do look, and some people roll their eyes a little bit, but I will tell you that Jesus Christ has impacted my life more profoundly than you'd ever know. I mean, he's impacted my life. That's where my whole spiritual connection comes from is with the Lord Jesus. And, so he's impacted my life. I haven't written him a whole lot of letters, but
Do you need some assistance?
yeah, bring him on up
He
here.
can entertain the group next time.
Well, you get introduced. Have you introduced him to everybody?
This is Micah. Say hi,
Hey.
Micah. Hi.
What's his name?
Micah.
Michael.
Yes. He said hi.
Like the same.
He's like, oh. If y'all hear yelling, he's gone. Promise.
Bye, Michael.
He's a good looking kid. He's a good looking little fellow. So, but and the Lord has had an amazing impact on my life. But also, I write my wife letters, and of course, y'all know I've been married for 52 years. So obviously, she's had a huge impact on my life. And I do write her. I usually write her cards. I don't write her letters.
Oh, I hear
And how we doing? Just come on in. It disrupt the whole class. It doesn't matter. Pull off 90 people. That's good. Yeah, do that. It's just lovely to me. People come in and they'll say, "Oh, I don't want to disrupt y'all's class." Well, okay. If that was true, you wouldn't have come in here anyway. So and so a lot of times when it's birthdays and Christmas and stuff like that, I'll write her a little thing. So I write short stories. I got 7 books out there that you bought none of them, by the way. But so I can write little short stories. So I write her a little short story and stuff. So if there's somebody you like, it's a real good idea. Just write them a little something that comes from your heart, something you really absolutely mean, and write it to them. Write something specifically to that person. I get cards from my kids and from my wife and from people like that, and usually they don't write anything on them, and they have all of these other things where they have written all of this stuff in there already. So, but that's from somebody else, right? What's the name of the Hallmark cards? That Hallmark stuff, that's from somebody else. That's not from you. So it's better, even if you're not really good at it, it's better for you to do that anyway. Write it from your heart. Let those people know.
Hey, brother.
Hey, you missed one. I don't think you touched him either.
I don't want to interrupt the class.
Oh,
man.
I,
You know what I mean?
I appreciate that too. See, aren't we all grateful that he was able to come in here and not disrupt the class at all?
Hey man, he had a big impact on my life.
He had a big impact on my life as well. Yeah, but once he left and he was out of here, that odor went away. So the impact was lessened by his leaving. So somebody that's had an impact on your life or someone you would just like to thank. How many of us really serious? Yeah, I got no letters from you guys. Let me tell you something. If you feel like, I know Christmas is coming and all of that stuff, it's not really something we do on Thanksgiving, but if y'all decide to send me a little note or something, you know, the thing that really puts impact in one of those things are $20 bills. That's just so much more impact.
Something to think about.
Yeah, just something to think
Something to
about.
be grateful.
Oh, yes. Something to be grateful for. So, how many people have thought about making maybe a little note to their sponsor? You know, I will tell you this, that sponsors are very much maligned and used people. You know, because we're in recovery and we have a lot of crap going on and we're doing a lot of mess. And we'll call that person and we'll barf on that person and we'll do all of this kind of stuff. And we have high expectations of that person. And what we need to understand is that's another person who is in recovery just like us. Same issues that's going on with us is going on with that person. Right? They just may have been in their recovery 3 or 4 years longer than that's it. But they're still having the same trials and tribulations that you are. So if they're taking some of your load, we might ought to be able to send them a little gratitude note. You know, the other day I didn't think I was going to make it, and there you are. You know, something like that. So somebody that's had an impact on your life, somebody you want to thank, write a letter that describes why you appreciate them. You can tell when somebody's really deeply into the session. You know, they're really getting something out of it. You can tell that. You can tell that. So. Sometimes tell them why you appreciate it, including specific examples and detail. I have a granddaughter who cooks me stuff. She makes sugar-free cookies and stuff for her grandpa. They're horrible.
Yeah.
They're terrible. She can't cook worth a flip. She's like 8 or 9. I don't know. She's this little bitty person. But she cooked, you know, and do you appreciate that? Do I have to do that? That baby is trying to make a cookie for her grandpa, right? And she'll bring it over, and her smile goes from here to here, and she's just all full of loves and hugs and smiles and all of that stuff, and nasty, ugly, stinking, no count, no good for nothing cookie. You know, it's hard to make a good cookie and not put sugar in it. So I don't know what she puts in it, but it's not sugar. And so, you know, you can eat this one. You know, hey, it's good. Here, have a nut. You want 2 more? You know, okay. So what you going to tell that little baby? You know, yes, I love your cookies. So I've never eaten a cookie that tastes quite like this, honey.
Feed it to the dog.
Yeah, what to my daughter?
Feed it to the dog.
Do I feed it to the dog? No, what have you got against my dog, man? I'm telling you, it's a bad cookie. I ate it, and look, if you put them in the coffee, you know, you put it in the coffee, and the little girl is watching you, and if you dip them in the coffee enough, they'll break off and sink to the bottom of the cup. And you can, she thinks you ate it. It's all in the bottom of the cup. But I really do appreciate that, and I do send those girls some stuff, and I love them, and I would die for them, and all of that stuff. The cookies no good. They also, I have I have 3 little granddaughters, but 2 of them are sisters, and they like to cook. Every year, my wife buys them cooking stuff, for Christmas and birthdays and all of that stuff, and man. When you do that, you have to deal with the fact that they're going to cook with it.
Yeah.
If you buy them cooking stuff, they're going to cook with it. Right. And they'll cook with it, and you'll go over there and what do you got? Chicken. All right. And the chicken tastes kind of like the cookie. And it's not much good, but you got to, because, I love my daughter. She is the sweetest young lady on the face of the earth, because the girl can't cook. Cannot cook. She just can't cook. So, But she's the person, the mommy who cannot cook, is teaching the daughters how to cook. And so that's, anyway, you send them something. So send them a letter that describes why you appreciate them, including specific examples, detailed. You remember the other day when you did this? You remember the other day you did that? It made me feel this way. Sometimes that's not easy for us to do. Sometimes it's easier for ladies to do that than it is for guys. But guys can do that too. Usually, the fact that we're gentlemen, a lot of times we will use that as a good excuse for bad behavior, right? I can't do that. Guys don't feel like that. That's a lie. We are emotional beings just like anybody else. So we can do that as well, right? And I will guarantee you there are people in your life that would love to do that. I've had people in treatment before tell me, I don't have any, look, this is this is going to be the worst Christmas in the entire world and all of this kind of stuff because I have nothing that I can send to my people. Yes, you do. You have your love that you can send to your people. You can send that to your people in the form of a handwritten note that comes from you, from your heart, right? Now, all of that depends on whether or not you can write it well enough that people can read it. My handwriting is, not that great. So usually, it's better to type it up, if you want them to see it. So it's up to you if you'd like to share the letter with them or not, but here's the deal. Sometimes if I put all of that stuff in a letter, I'm writing a gratitude letter. Here's a real big secret about it that really makes it a good tool. You don't have to send it to anybody. It helps you to formulate gratitude in your heart because you're putting it on paper and you're seeing it. You don't have to send it to anybody. I'm not going to put all that work into coming up with something that I'm not going to send to somebody, right? I'm going to send that to my kids. But I will tell y'all this. This might have been 10 years ago. I decided that one good gift would be one afternoon or maybe even a full day of my time. So I got the cards and I put on there, how much time that I was going to give to these people. And I sent these cards to my kids and, other people in my family. And I said, look, I'm going to give you one full day of my time to do anything you want to do with. We can go to the movies. We can go fishing, whatever you want to do with. I sent out about 30 of them. Guess how many have been redeemed? None. Ain't nobody redeemed. Ain't nobody want to spend no time with me. So.
Well, we're great. We got you.
Thank you.
We got you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, I'll be looking for some cards and letters come Christmas time. Now, look, y'all don't send me no cards and letters. Don't be doing that. Get out of here. Have a good life. Go get a job. And every year on my birthday, send me $100. If I get everybody I ever talk to do that, I could go home. See, I wouldn't have to do that. I have a young man, and his name is Mr. Sumai Gaisak. Sumai Gaisak. He's from the Philippines. His family owns a hotel in the Philippines, and it's on a beach that has black sand because it's from there's volcanoes or stuff, so the sand is black, and so he's come over here. He's going to work over here, and he said when he gets his retirement over here, he can live like a king in Puerto Rico. But every year on my birthday, they always send me something. Always send me something. Yeah, so that's just a good example. So, anyway, a gratitude letter. You don't have to send it to anybody, but there's nothing in the world better than somebody getting a letter from somebody that they care about that says, this is something that you did that just made me grateful to know you. So, another thing, and this is something that all of us can do and all of us should do, and I try to do it. I don't do it nearly enough, but I should do it. Just grateful contemplation. What does contemplation mean?
What you thinking about?
Contemplating,
This-
putting off, like, should I or should I not?
You thinking about doing it.
Yeah, and just thinking about it, contemplating, bringing it in. You're just thinking about it, and all of that kind of stuff. Removing yourself from distraction. This is real hard. Removing yourself from distractions such as phones, TV,
Good.
the what? The kids,
Good.
computers,
My wife.
yeah, your wife, yeah. Just spend 5 or 10 minutes mentally reviewing the good things that's happened from that day. Let me tell you that when you go home or up here, the television going off is a big deal. That thing needs to be on a lot of the time. That captures your attention, holds your attention to the flashing lights. It's been proven that the flashing lights inside the television, that's being shot out to us, are the one thing that makes television addictive. And I watched a couple of guys here the other day listening to the guitar until the lady came down and said, "Stop it." You say, well, that doesn't affect behavior. Yes, it does. You can watch these guys on the couch. It's affecting their behavior. It was affecting their behavior. Yeah, sure. So, just reviewing the good things from your day. I don't watch much television at all, but there are some good things on television that I like to watch, and I do watch those from time to time. But I'll watch. How much television do you think most people watch?
Weekly, daily, or
How about daily?
6 hours a day.
or 7.
A lot of people will watch between 4 and 7 hours of television a day. Can you imagine 7? I cannot imagine 7 hours. People get off of work, they go home, they sit down, and from 6 o'clock till 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night. And it doesn't make much difference what's on. I mean, if you look at that, I flipped through the channels the other day and all of those games they play and stuff like that, the floor, stuff like that. I mean, total, lowbrow, stupid, complete Survivor. See, oh my God, where are we going to get food? How about the truck that's there with the camera crew? Huh? People are watching it. I don't know where they're going to get their food. That's so funny. They had that one on for about one season where the guy's naked and afraid. Yeah. Are you out of your mind? You really believe those people are staying in the jungle all night long naked? No.
Don't they get $1 million?
I don't know what they get. I don't. It would take almost $1 million for me to watch one of them. Yeah, I'm not doing it. So anyway, big, I'm sorry, we got off on this, but I am grateful. I am grateful that I have enough sense not to watch Big Brother. I just can't do it, Anyway, But if you like it, is it okay? Yeah. Yeah, if you want to watch that kind of mind-numbing foolishness, that's okay. Yeah. Yeah. But just be grateful that there's medication to help you after you've watched about 3 seasons. Anyway, remove yourself from all distractions like phones. That's really, really hard for us. I will tell you that I scroll way too much and spend. I'm sitting there when my wife's watching television. I'm looking through the phone trying to find some stuff. But and just mentally go over the things that day that have been good things, and I do that when I go home. I usually do it on the way home, though. I'm thinking on the way in, I'm praying, asking God to have a good day, and then on the way out, I thank Him for the good things that went on that day. And there's always good things that go on that day, so I can see some of those good things, and I think about those, and I thank God for those, and then move on from that. And I try to look at every day that things that happen that accomplish some things. For me, that's a really good thing. The key to this technique is consistency. What does that mean?
Scary factor, right?
Yeah, I'm going to do it more than once. I'm not going to just do it today and let it go. I'm going to do it more than once. I'm going to do it over and over and over. I'm going to do it every day, and every day I do it. And, think of it like brushing your teeth or like exercising. I have a lady that I deal with, and, every time that I'm talking to her, I'm thinking in my mind, I want to get this interaction over with pretty quickly, and I don't want her to smile while we're doing it, so I'm not going to tell her anything that I think might make her happy or anything, because she doesn't do things like brush her teeth a lot. And when she smiles, y'all ever seen the Grinch? Y'all ever seen that show? When he smiles and there's all kind of worms and bugs and stuff. I will say I never saw a living bug but I saw places where they possibly could live. And I'm like, and she's a pretty lady, but when she smiles, all that goes. So I don't think about all of that kind of stuff. So think about it like brushing your teeth or exercising, something that's a necessity for every day. But look, if you don't brush your teeth, do it. Give it a shot. See what it's like. Do it. Clean teeth. That's wonderful stuff. It should be a normal part of your daily self-care. What happened today that was a good thing for me? What happened today that's a good thing that can be repeated tomorrow if it was a good thing? Sometimes it can't be repeated every day, but sometimes it can be repeated. You can't go have a piece of the same pie every day. Why is that? Well, sooner or later the pie's gone, right? So it's over with. You can't do that. So it should be a part of everyday self-care. This technique can be practiced as part of prayer, part of meditation, or on its own. That's where I practice it. I'm going home and I'm thanking God. Lord, thank you that the group went well today. Thank you that this person or that person did well. Thank you that we had a good time here. Thank you that we had a good meeting with all of those kinds of things. Thank you that we had whatever went on well the way it's supposed to go, right? So one more little thing and we'll be finished with all of this stuff. A gratitude conversation. What's that?
One-on-one. One-on-one person.
Yeah.
One-on-one personal time.
Okay.
Pillow talk.
I am grateful that he's got that on. That looks good. With another person, take turns listing 3 things you're grateful for throughout the day. What's 3 things you're grateful for?
God waking up.
Being able to sleep with my eyes open.
Grateful
Okay, that's one.
for my kids,
Okay.
and I'm grateful for you, Dr. North.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, look at that. That guy's going to go far in life, I tell you. So give me 3 things real quick.
Grateful for my family. Grateful for God.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, here's the thing. The reason it's a good exercise is because we don't really think about what we're grateful for a lot. You know, and somebody can come along and say, well, what are you grateful for? I'm grateful for Miss Courtney. Yeah, I really am, because I'm going to tell you what, case management is beyond me. I didn't train. I went to school for a bunch of years to do what I do. I never once was trained in case management.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad I can be of service.
Yeah. So, well, you probably, because seeing as how you already have kind of a redundant question. Go ahead.
Does anybody else need a birth certificate, social security card, or ID, or driver's license? Come on. Come on. You'll be next.
We going first, please.
I want you.
So that was Miss Courtney. Y'all know her. She works over there at Northam. Her total thing. So we're really grateful for her because she comes and does all that stuff over here. And we're grateful for you guys at North allowing her to come over here and work with us sometime. Next time I need driver's license or birth certificate, I'm going to get with her later. But it's also a good thing for us to think about, you know, what are just 3 things I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful that I'm starting to feel a little bit better. I am grateful. I'm grateful that I'm going to have something good to eat today. I'm grateful that I have a job. I'm grateful that God loves me in spite of me. And, you know, I learned quite a while back that there's nothing I can do to make him love me anymore. And there's nothing I can do to make him love me any less. He just loves me. Ain't nothing I can do about that. Ain't nothing you can do about that. You say, well, I hate him, I don't like him. Nothing. Okay, well, that's up to you. That's your feelings toward him. That doesn't change his feelings toward you. He loves you no matter what you do. You know those people who are cutting people's heads off and all that. He loves those people too. The people who are doing the cutting off. He loves them. He died for their sins as well. But, you know, they got to get to the place where they recognize that. Because there's coming a day. So it said, look, come up. So I will understand what Ben, you got your stuff done quickly. Look at that. Just, that girl, quick. All right, spend a moment. Yeah, no. Spend a moment discussing and contemplating each of these points that we can make. Don't hurry through the list. Make this part of your routine by practicing before a meal, before bed, or come up with some other regular time we're going to do it. This is one of the reasons that I have a lot of prayer time coming in the morning, and I'm starting to do a little something that's not. I think I'm going to have to quit because I'll start talking to the Lord, and I'll start looking at, because the news comes on at about 6:30, so I want to hear that, see if the world has ended, and so I'll get to that, and then I'll excuse myself and go. So I'm going to try to get rid of that part of it, but then going on the way home, I'm doing the other thing. I'm looking at all of the good things we did. So there's some other good things that we can do. We're going to look over these real quickly. I want to quit a little early, but there's some things that we can think about to help us to prompt our gratitude. One of them is, how has another person shown they care about you within the past week? Has anybody done that? Anybody shown you that they care about you in the past week? Showed you, called you, did anything to show you, make you know that they care about you.
My daughter, I called her and said, Dad, I miss you so much.
Yeah, ain't that something? Yeah. My daughter, I have a daughter and 2 sons, and my daughter will sometimes give me she'll text me, call me, talk to me. My sons never will until my daughter tells them to. So describe something fun you did today. See, that helps us be, we need to be grateful about the fact that there are fun things that we can do. And I see people say, well, I didn't do nothing fun. And what about this group? This is so much fun. Yeah, man, exactly. Right. Describe something that made you laugh in the past week. There's something.
John.
Yeah, there's some stuff that made me laugh in the past week, watching a good movie, there's something that's funny, some stuff, Describe a challenge you overcame in the past week. Sobriety. I stayed sober the whole week. Now look, I've had to do it one day at a time, right?
Yes, sir.
I've had to do it 1 hour.
I'm sick.
Yeah, I've been in that situation where I've gone for about 10 minutes at a time. I'm looking at my watch, looking at the clock. I'm going to stay sober till noon. Yeah. Then when noon gets okay, made it to noon. Now I'm gonna do it till 1 o'clock. Okay, maybe 10 minutes still, but now sometimes I can say, well, I've been sober this whole week. Yeah, so I can do it a week at a time. Yeah, so that's good stuff. So share the story of something exciting that happened this past week. What was something nice that you said to someone this past week? Good morning. Look, I like to be nice, good, kind, and sweet. I ask the Lord to let the fruit of the Spirit flow out of me. So we had a preacher tell us last Wednesday night that you couldn't tell when somebody was saved and sanctified and sliding in. That's not true. The Bible says you will know them by their fruits. And what are the fruits? The fruit of the Spirit. So if you got saved, if Jesus is in your life, then you have the Holy Spirit inside of you. And if the Holy Spirit's inside of you, then that's going to come out of you. And the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, gentleness, self-control. It doesn't work for people over 5'9". So, because it's just, you just can't feel that. I'm sorry I'm picking on you, but just because she said, boy, you're tall. Now, all right, describe something you were thankful for today. Waking up, yeah. Yeah. I'm thankful for, lunch is coming. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the fact that, the holidays here. This is my favorite time of year. And it's not about getting anything. It's about, everybody's happier. Not everybody, but it's a happier season. You go even in the elevators, they're singing, happier music. Everything is better. So, who was it, Elvis? He said, why can't every day be just like Christmas? Yeah. So, describe something that made you happy.
Today?
Yeah. Describe something today that made you happy. Waking up made you happy? I woke up 4 o'clock this morning. I wasn't all that happy. But, then I got up and all these deals, everything else. Got to come to work, got to do group, all of that stuff. Well, look, it is. Well, I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to do something that's a little bit different tomorrow. We're going to have some goodies and stuff to give out tomorrow. So y'all get your thinking caps on. And we're going to do some good stuff here. And we'll have it over at North as well. I'll get somebody to help me do it over there. And it's going to be a wonderful, fantastic, wonderful kind of thing tomorrow. So we're already happy about that. We'll quit a little bit early